She used to wake up before the sun touched her small kitchen window. The air always felt heavy with silence. She would boil water for coffee, stare at the steam, and think about how simple mornings used to be back when laughter still filled the house. Before the day everything fell apart, before the day she lost it all: her husband, her home, her peace. It started with a single phone call, the kind that changes everything, a voice on the other end telling her they were sorry, but the company had to let her go. Layoffs, they said, economic crisis. She tried to breathe, but the sound of her heartbeat drowned everything. She held the phone against her chest and whispered to herself, "It's okay, it's just a job, I can start again." But that same week her husband told her he needed space. Space became distance, and distance became silence, until one night he just didn't come back. Days turned into weeks, the bills piled up, the house felt colder. Every morning she'd walk past the mirror and not recognize the woman staring back. She stopped brushing her hair, stopped answering calls. She'd sit on the floor with unopened mail around her, wondering how a life could collapse so quietly. One moment everything seemed fine, the next it was just gone. She sold her wedding ring to buy groceries. She cried while doing it, not for the ring but for what it meant. One evening as she scrolled through her phone, she saw a picture of a candle. It was handmade, rough, imperfect, yet beautiful. Something inside her clicked. She remembered how she used to love making things with her hands back when creativity meant peace. She went to the kitchen, found an old jar, melted leftover wax from old candles, added a few drops of her favorite oil, lavender. She lit it, and for the first time in months the air smelled like hope. She started making one candle every night. It became her therapy, her small act of defiance against despair. She would pour wax by moonlight, whispering to herself, "Tomorrow will be better." She gave a few candles to neighbors. They loved them. One of them said, "You should sell these, they smell like calm." She laughed at first, but the words stayed with her. She opened a small online page, nothing fancy, just pictures taken on her phone. She called her little project Second Light, because that's what it felt like, a new chance, a flicker after darkness. The first week she sold 2 candles, the next week 10. Soon she was shipping orders across states. She'd write small notes inside every box saying, "You are stronger than you think." People began sharing her story, and her candles became more than wax and scent. They became symbols of resilience. But success didn't come without struggle. Some nights she'd stay up till dawn packaging orders with trembling hands, her back aching, her eyes burning. She wanted to quit so many times, but then she'd remember the woman she was months ago, the one sitting in silence, surrounded by unopened mail. She'd whisper, "No, not again," and keep going. She learned about marketing, shipping, customer service, all from free videos online. Every mistake became a lesson, every order a small victory. One day a journalist messaged her asking to feature her story in a local magazine. She almost didn't reply, thinking she wasn't special enough. But she did, and that article changed everything. Her sales exploded. Investors called, stores reached out. Her candles found their way into boutiques and gift shops. And she hired her first employee, a single mom who reminded her of herself. On the anniversary of the day she lost her job, she stood in her small studio, surrounded by boxes of her brand, her logo shining on every label. She closed her eyes and remembered that morning when she couldn't breathe, when everything seemed over. She smiled through tears, thinking how sometimes losing everything isn't the end, it's the beginning, it's the clearing before the bloom. She never forgot the pain. It shaped her, taught her what strength truly means. She built a brand from ashes and gave it a soul. Her story became a quiet reminder that failure is not final, that darkness is not forever, that even broken hearts can light the world again, one small flame at a time. And when people ask her how she did it, she always says the same thing: "I just kept lighting candles until one of them lit my way."